Let me talk a little bit more about these Spydercos, because this is the Nemesis. This is considered the Nemesis of Wicked Edge because they are tough to clamp. They are a full flat grind distally tapered knife. I have these two in particular because this one is more flat and this is more curved. They both, because of their distally tapered and the holes and the way the sharpening ricasso is, this one's close to the handle, this one's out here. There are so many Spydercos, and they're all full flat grind, distally tapered knives. So they're all a challenge to clamp on any guided sharpening system. Wicked Edge, because it's a single central clamp, it may be more difficult to sharpen. Now with the newer models, this is a Gen 3 Pro vise or the new dual cam vise. The vices are split, so they're meant to clamp distally tapered knives. So the early Wicked Edge models with the standard vices were really, really tough to sharpen these knives because it was tough to clamp them. The newer models, they got easier, and the newest models, it's a lot easier. What I want to say about these knives is that I read a lot of complaints about them after the fact. And I want to make sure that if you're going to be scrutinizing your sharpening job, scrutinize your knife first. Scrutinize your knife first. And what I mean by that is if you look at this bevel and you look at this bevel, they are different. And if you look here and if you look here, you will see how it comes to that point where the edge meets the tang. Same thing on here. And look at the bevel height. This has a taller bevel. The point that I'm trying to make is a lot of us get critical on our sharpening jobs. We get very scrutinizing of our work and blame it on Wicked Edge, or how should I say that? We get proficient and we start to see that things don't look the same from side to side, and we want to know what's wrong with the Wicked Edge instead of trying to figure out what did we do that gave us those results. Well, the primary thing that a lot of us do is we don't look at what we're starting with. And that's the whole point that I'm trying to make, is if you need to really look at it closely before you start, because what happens is a lot of people look at the results after they've sharpened and they blame it on the sharpener that they're using, that it didn't work right. And they never really looked at what they started with. If you look at these knives, the two of them, the bevels are different. Even though they're both Spydercos, this one's made in Japan, this one's made in China. There's Spydercos made in America, there's Spydercos made in Taiwan. There's Spydercos made all over. They're all just like all my chef knives. If you look at each and every knife, no two of them are the same. Until you start getting into high-end production knives like a Sean knife or a Miyabi or a Yaxle or something like that. Then they're like a Chevrolet or a Cadillac. Every one of them is like almost perfect. And the bevels and all that, they tend to match. But my point that I'm trying to make is you have to look at your baseline before you start, before you criticize your results. We're looking at the results and we're saying, oh, this sharpener messed up, and we're blaming it on the sharpener, and we never really looked at what did we start with. And it may have been totally wonkers that we started with, and what we ended up with is 100% better, but it's still not as good as we expect it to be. And when something is not as good as we expect it to be, we look to place the blame on something else. And it's easy to blame our sharpening system for not giving us the results we want, hence why a lot of you guys go from one system to another system to another system, looking for the one that you get, the one that you can use easily, that gives you these results you're looking for when you're scrutinizing without killing yourself. Some of these are real, some of these fixed position guided sharpeners are real tough to work with. Some of them are easier to work with. That you have to determine. It's what you get, what you have the knack for. I had the knack for this. Thanks.